Einstein understood quantum mechanics better than anybody, including the people who are given credit for inventing it. The difference is that he just wasn't willing to accept that it was done.
Do you ever wonder how a guy in Switzerland on his own, without laboratories, came up with this? Or is it because it was a complete paradigm shift in a way of looking at things? I mean, do you ever think about that?
Somehow he had this way of figuring out exactly which parts of the phenomena were relevant and which parts were irrelevant, which parts you could throw away and which parts you could keep. His major contribution was to say, we can simplify everything. There was this idea, there was the ether, this invisible field that filled all of space, and light was propagating through the ether. And it took Einstein just to say, if you remove the word ether here everywhere, and you just say light propagates through empty space, you get all of the phenomena correctly described in much simpler terms. All you have to do is give up on the idea that there's an absolute space and an absolute time, which is a lot to give up on. And he was just a genius at giving up on the right things.
Wow, and that probably is the history of great movements in human technology and understanding. People who know what to look at, and then people that can also walk away from previous assumptions.
You know, it's fascinating to me because there's no one right way to be a great physicist. There are different physicists who have very different styles. Just at Caltech, where I am, in the 1960s, we had both Richard Feynman and Murray Gell-Mann, who were the best theoretical physicists in the world at the time, but very, very different styles. And styles come along with different predispositions, different feelings, different intuitions about how nature is going to work. And the dirty little secret of theoretical physics is that it's not an algorithm. There's not a way to go from the data to the correct story. You're going to guess. You're going to say, well, maybe it's this way, maybe it's that way. Different people will make different guesses, and in different historical circumstances, different guesses are going to turn out right. Like Einstein in 1905 made all the right guesses. His intuition was spot on again and again. And then when it came to the 1930s and 40s, when he was trying to unify gravity with electromagnetism, all of his guesses were wrong. And he didn't become dumber, it was just a different time and different problems were ripe for being solved.
What is time? A deceptively simple question, yet it is the key to understanding relativity. When we describe motion, we do so as a function of time. 10 meters per second, 100 miles per hour. But the mathematical description of velocity is moot, unless we can define time. Is time universal? In other words, is there an audible tick-tock throughout the galaxy? A master clock, so to speak, forging ahead like Mozart's metronome? The answer, my friends, is no. Time is not absolute. In fact, for us believing physicists, the distinction between the past, present, and future is but a stubborn illusion.